Right, so in today's video I'll be showing you my clips of my Route 2 solo, which is my first solo navigation prior to getting my PPL. Currently I'm training to get my PPL. I'm not too far away from my skills test. I need to do one land away, my cross-country qualifier, and then my skills test. So right now I'm lining up from runway 06. I'm holding short at the moment, 06 at Denham. I'll be flying from Denham to my VRP, which today was Maple Cross, and from Maple Cross over to Amersham. From Amersham I'm making my way over to Oakley to Little Horwood over to Tring, and then Tring back to Amersham. So all in all, it was a good flight, thoroughly enjoyable. So right now I'm lining up onto runway 06 in turn with the other aircraft on takeoff. I did knock the camera so you don't actually see the outside, only inside. Also, I did have to wait a little while on the runway, just let that helicopter take off. It was going fairly slow. So here I am, setting the power. I gave my call. They told me the winds were light and variable today. So all in all, it just made things easier. So just thinking about it, here I am, setting the power, making sure my T's and P's are in the green, my alternator is charging, and if I had a suction gauge I would have made sure that it was in the green. However, we have G5, so although bear in mind the G5s and the compass were out of sync for about 10 to 20 degrees, which did add a challenge. So that wasn't exactly the easiest thing, and I would have to turn onto my heading, overdo it or underdo it by 20 degrees, and then wait for my compass to reach equilibrium, and then I'd fly from there. So we are rotating, climbing away at 65 knots on initial takeoff departure, and then I'll turn onto crosswind and climb away at 70 knots. So here I am, starting my gentle turn onto crosswind, from where I will retract the flaps, reduce the drag, and then level off at 1,000 feet. Point of leveling off, you can't go above 1,000 feet at Denham due to Heathrow TMA, and you do not want to infringe that. So there, flaps up, just trimming up slightly, and there, just to the camera, so you can see outside. So you should be able to see Maple Cross off the nose of the aircraft, and that's where I'm flying to. So right now I'm climbing through 1,600 for 2,000 feet. My initial altitude was 2,100, however I did change it down to 2,000 as I was heading north towards the local area. The visibility was a bit, let's say, poo. So I just wanted to make sure I had the best sort of visibility and also being above my safety altitude. So I did vary between 2,100 and 2,000 feet today. So that was just something to bear in mind. However, right now I'm heading to Amersham, still in contact with Denham radio on 130.730. There I am, leveling off at 2,000 feet. I don't think you can see Amersham at the moment. I think the nose is blocking what my reference point is. However, I knew exactly where it was. I could see it. I made sure I could see through that gap between the left of the door and the nose. Here I am approaching just over my halfway marker between Amersham and Oakley. So for me it was Princess Risborough. It's fairly simple to spot out from the air, just at the other side of the ridge, and it's the only sort of town in the area. So I believe I got there 1 minute early, so that That meant my rectified time of arrival at Oakley was a minute earlier. Now I'm in contact with Benson Zone, and I'm getting a max penetration and a basic service from them. So right now, I've just contacted Benson, so I just turned up the volume because I couldn't hear them very well, and I said to them basically for a max penetration and a basic service. And there was only one other aircraft in contact with them, and they were using the southern stub, and I was using the northern stub. So they gave me clearance through at 2,000 feet, which was just to pass through the stub. So I did, and I obviously, you'll see in a sec that I went to Oakley. That'll be fairly visible soon. So, yeah. So now you should be able to see Oakley just off the nose of the aircraft. I did get there 2 minutes early, so my rectified time of arrival was correct. There was no other traffic, no conflicting traffic at all. So once I turned away from Oakley, I was heading towards Little Horwood. I did my gross error check. I set my time, and now I told Benson that I was changing over to Farnborough radar, and I did not contact Farnborough radar until I was within their zone. Otherwise, they would have just said to me, "They don't want me." Now you'll be able to see Little Horwood off the nose of the aircraft. There's white hangars are just there, so that's indicating that was the old airfield that used to be there. My original reference point was Winslow. It's a lot easier to spot out. It's the only sort of town within the area. So once you know where Winslow is, you know where Little Horwood is. You know what to look for. This is the aerodrome. I did arrive at Little Horwood a minute earlier, or just on time. So that made for a simple life. So I'm now in contact with Farnborough Radar North. I got a basic service from them, and they didn't really get any sort of hearing from them until later on in the video, to which I'll tell you. However, now Little Horwood isn't in sight; it's below the aircraft. However, I can still see it, so I will commence my turn very soon. So now I have just got my basic service from Farnborough Radar. They gave me a squawk of 5053, to which I think it was. I am at 2100 feet, so I did vary between the two. And I'm now on my way to Tring. 3 lakes I'm looking out for. When I got my basic service, the lower airspace radar service officer is there to give me any sort of useful information. However, all collision avoidance and other aircraft is all my own responsibility. They're just there to help. And it was around here, there's the company traffic departing from Denham as well, coming to the local area, coming right towards me. And it wasn't until about 20 seconds from a collision when I was told where the traffic was. However, we'd both spotted each other and therefore able to turn right and avoid a conflict. just over Tring. I'm turning left towards Amersham, to which will be my last sort of leg of the journey. Once I get to Amersham, I do change from Farnborough Radar over to Denham and just let them know that I'll be joining very shortly. I let them know of my position, so all went swimmingly well, and by now I was ready to get back to Denham and land. So just about here, I start to commence my descent down to 1,000 feet. Obviously that's the circuit altitude at Denham, so I'm making sure that I'll be there by the VRP, which for me was Chalfont St Giles. As soon as I reported my position at Amersham to the radio officer at Denham, two other aircraft as well within about a minute also stated that they were at Amersham, and they were probably faster than me. However, I did have the right of way, I was there before them, and it's just good airmanship. So I had a fast helicopter behind me which did slow down, and they did maintain circuit altitude, so there's no sort of conflicting areas there. So yeah, I'm descending now. Carb heat is hot and RPM is down to 17-18, just for a nice cruise descent at 85 knots. So I'm just about to do I've just done my downwind checks. However, obviously you do them on base here, just due to not doing a downwind leg. So that's brakes, undercarriage, mixture, fuel, instruments, T's and P's, carb heat, and then for me it's listening and looking out, and obviously harnesses as well. I'm aiming for the cross section there between the M25 and a road that takes you towards Chalfont, and that's what I'm aiming for. And then you have the train track on my left, and then I'll be turning left onto final. So there was no reported circuit traffic at the time of my descent and arrival into Denham. There was, however, two other aircraft coming into Denham. There I am. There's the train track just there on the bottom, as you can see. So making my left turn. So in a sec it'll be carb heat away and flaps down to full, and making sure my radio message is final, just to let everyone know of my position. The helicopter and the other aircraft did maintain circuit altitude. Bearing did, and there's the runway, Denham Golf Course just below there. So when my final approach speed to be 60 knots as I was solo, and wind was very light. Getting very close to the trees as normal, but the descent profile was looking good. Just a little bit of crosswind, so I did turn into the wind and did my slip. Here I am, rounding out, power to idle. Although I didn't flare enough, so I did land a little bit flat. But all in all, it was good. So that is the end of the video. The flight went well. I'll be flying to Duxford next, solo, which I do really look forward to. So just vacating the runway here. I got back. Took me roughly 45 minutes in total, and all in all very enjoyable, and just one step closer to getting my pilot's license. So to those two people who watched, thank you very much, and next flight is Duxford, which I'll try and get some ATC audio. So cheers.